Dear Diary, where do I even begin? I am a bottle of booze given sentience and sent to a planet of advanced primates because some celestial deity got drunk off me. And if that wasn't enough, I often leave that world and enter a new one filled with other sophisticated species. The most recent one jailed me for no discernible reason. That wasn't so bad, they gave me all the ale I could drink. Everything was fine, until that emperor showed up. The next thing I know, I'm defending him alongside his guards in an underground tunnel, fighting pigs in an arena, and forced into service for another evil deity and a ghost mommy, who rewarded my service by sending me to a literal hell. And you want to know what the worst part is? All they have is seltzer water and blood fountains here. Are these demons hipster vampires? Who drinks this stuff? Was that their plan, giving me all that ale while I was in jail? Is my kind so toxic to their pretty little world that they would jail us all? And I know what you're thinking, Diary.
Phil, you were drinking them, you cannibal.
And yes, I was. Why wouldn't I? They are drinks that aren't sentient. I'm the only one cursed with this miserable existence as the only sentient bottle of booze. And drinking them refills my will to carry on. Don't talk to me like you know how I work. I drank the others in hopes of sustaining my will long enough to find a way out of my existence. But here's my theory. I was in jail drinking all that alcohol, right? And when I finished my last bottle, who shows up? The Emperor. And what did he say to me?
You are the one from my dreams. Then the stars were right. And this is the day.
Why would he say that to a creature like me? A sentient bottle of booze personified in an albino bullfrog? Because he was right. There's some evil plot going on in this world. The Emperor found out about it, and he came to my cell to free me, and he was killed for it. That's why there isn't any alcohol in this world. They're jailing all of us. And that's why when I escaped, I ended up in an arena fighting vampires and pigs and then forced to work for an evil cult that goes around killing people until I was trapped here in this hellscape. Booze will set this world free, but the powers that be are doing everything they can to stop us. Why do I care? Well, honestly I don't, but I just want to get back to my world where everything is at least more normal than this. But after weeks of searching, I came across something different. A man trapped in some cage with a demon guarding him. The demon was simple enough to dispatch. I mean, I had been fighting demons for weeks now. And then the man told me that he had a key on him, and I thought the key would open the cage, but actually, it would open a way out of this hell. So I took the key, and it opened a room in one of these doom towers, and as I climbed to the top of the room, guess what I found? A bottle of ale. Oh, it had been so long since I had seen one of my brethren. I just about fell to my feet out of pure joy and shock. I reached out, took the bottle in my hands, and then... what's happening? Oh, no, not again! I lost it. I lost my brother. And when I came to, I was in some ransacked room full of fire and girls, or rather, fire girls setting the room on fire. Yeah, it doesn't really matter because my brother was nowhere to be seen. I searched the room for hours, but the bottle was gone. The only thing I could find was the body of some count who was lying face down in a puddle of his own blood.
How dare you mock him, even in death?
Hi. Yeah, so apparently I was in some castle, and the explosion I was in blew it up, along with the town around it. But as I left the castle and stepped into the streets, overrun with demons ravaging the town, hope welled up in me anew. I had finally found what I had been searching so long for. Where there might be one bottle of booze, there might be more. I had to find a way back to hell. As I left the town, I happened upon a most curious person. Look familiar? Yeah, that's right. He's a dead ringer for the Emperor. After questioning him, he told me that some guy had come looking for him and he needed him to return to a priory somewhere. However, the priest wouldn't leave until the demons had been dealt with, so that guy went into the town to defeat the demons, but never came out. I wonder if he was that guy trapped in the cage. Whatever the case, the demons were gone, and the priest was willing to leave with me.
You destroyed the Oblivion Gate, they say. You gave them hope. I'll come with you to Wayne Priory. Lead on.
The two of us traveled to the priory to find it was under attack, and to my great delight, more familiar faces were here. The assassins that had killed the Emperor were raising the priory. They were trying to stop my quest. But I was a drink with a job, and when my bubbles start rising, nothing can stop me. We cleared the priory of the assassins and found the only remaining survivor, an old monk who knew the way of the blade. Turns out he was an old guard of the Emperor, and he was the one looking for this priest.
Martin cannot stay here. We have driven them off, but they will be back once they learn of Martin's survival.
Obviously, the priory was no longer safe, so we needed to venture north to an old fortress of the Emperor's Secret Service Guard. We took the remaining horses and headed north, and oh my buzz. These two morons could not stay on their horses. If they spotted any sort of monster in the forest, they get off their horses and go fight it. Sudden Joffrey lost his horse in one of these dumb eradications and blamed me for it.
My sword for the dragon!
Couldn't tell you why, though. We arrived at the fortress, and Martin was given a grand welcome. I was thanked and paid for my help, but I didn't do it for the money. I had other plans. Martin apparently needed some amulet to become the new emperor, but the guy who stole it had escaped into some other realm with it. In order to get to that realm, they would need some items, and one of those items just so happened to be back in that hell. I didn't care about the amulet, but if helping him was my ticket back to hell, then I'd let him drink me dry until he got his... Wow, looks like YouTube can reach across space and time to take down my videos, huh? Whatever. I was willing to do anything to get back to hell, but little did I know what kind of fresh hell I was actually about to be put through. In order to get back to hell, we would need a special book. But the only way to get that book was through that cult of assassins that was trying to kill us. And the only way to get to their hideout was to join their little cult. And in order to join their cult, I had to find 4 other books. Yes, you heard me right. In order to get one studying book, I needed to find 4 other books. And starting now, I'm going to be keeping a fetch counter so you know just how many items I had to study collect. Luckily, we already had 2 of the books on hand. The third one was being sold at a bookstore in the Imperial City. However, when I went to the store to buy it, someone else had already bought it and were on their way to pick it up. So I waited until the buyer showed up and made him give it to me. Don't ask me how. I let him drink me. The 4th book was easier to acquire. A meeting with the assassins to get the 4th book had already been set up, and Martin had sent one of his guards to help me because the meeting was taking place in the sewers. Now, I had been through the sewers plenty of times, so navigating them wasn't a problem. What was the problem was that this guard had the same zealous brain tumor that forced him to attack anything that wasn't human in these sewers.
Look out!
Yeah, you show those crabs who's boss. When we finally made it to the meeting spot, the guard said he would go in and meet with the group to get that book.
I think I'd better be the one to handle the meeting. You'll be my backup. Keep watch from above in case of trouble.
I declined his suggestion. I was the one who looked like a studying cult member because I had already been in one. It made more sense for me to be the one to meet with these assassins. But the most glaring issue of all, he still had his guard sword that those cult members would recognize in an instant. Like, why would you bring that? He kept arguing with me, saying he should be the one to do it.
No, it should be me. I have a blood debt to repay these Mythic Dawn assassins.
And I kept telling him no. So he finally gave in and said he'd keep watching the archway above. I went into the meeting, sat down at the table, and readied myself to play the best overly enthusiastic nutjob I could. But that guard was still butthurt that he didn't get to be the one to meet with the assassins, and he blew our cover the moment the dude walked in. Whatever, we got the book, and after deciphering them, I learned that the cult's hideout was revealed on a crypt in the city. With my bubbles rising again, I traveled out to the cave, and guess who I ran into?
Dawn is breaking. Welcome, brother. The hour is late, but the Master still has need for willing hands. Sanguine, my brother.
Wow, went from one cult to another, huh, Lucian? I sent him to another round of reincarnation and cut my way through the cult until I found the book I was looking for at the back of the cave with a naked lizard? Jeez, I didn't realize these cult members were scalies. I took the book back to Martin, and he told me that the book wasn't enough. No, that would have been too easy. He needed another item, a demon artifact, from one of those lords of the hellscape I'd come from. Makes sense, I guess. And it just so happened that one of those lords was worshipped not far away from here. But guess what? In order to even talk to this demon lord, you guessed it, I had to go fetch another item. Also a bear trying to eat me.
Travel to the gutted mine. The door will open to you. Bring the piece of death to my followers, and you shall earn my gratitude.
Yeah, of course it wouldn't be so easy just to trade items. But I'll take the extermination of a bunch of vampires over what was to come next. Keep an eye on that counter.
Thank you, mortal. Their spirits are free, and henceforth above my shrine, 5 bright candles shall burn forever in memory of their sacrifice.
I figured out another item needed for the ritual. The second item is the counterpart to the first, the blood of a divine. The blood of Tiber Septim himself, who became one of the divines.
Couldn't have told me that while I was out collecting the Daedra Lord's item, huh? Which I could have sold for 2.5 sudden grand, by the way. I traveled to an old abandoned fort, and what do I find here? A bunch of wraiths that take forever to kill. And to make this even more of a pain in my glass, there were 4. Yes, 4. Old sods who were guarding the armor. So I had to go running throughout this fortress and find 4 stupid skeletons among these Giga-Chad wraiths, and one other skeleton that didn't count, in this labyrinth, destroy them, and then wait until they walked, yes, walked, their ethereal hides all the way to where the armor was before they finally opened the way to said armor. This was a fetch quest inside of a fetch quest inside of another stunning fetch quest. The armor itself was dope, though. Ow. Stupid skeleton. And after I returned with the armor, yeah, you want to guess what happened next?
The third item we need is a great Welkin stone.
Another stunning item for me to fetch. Off to another room with a bunch of enemies to fight through. Thankfully, there wasn't any other arbitrary requirement to get this stone other than pressing a few switches. And this time, when I returned to the fortress, I bubbled inside to find Martin rocking that armor I retrieved for him, and talking to the old monk how he was going to fight alongside everyone when they opened the gate to hell. Oh, yes. Finally. I happily handed over the stone and eagerly awaited him to open the gate to hell.
Now, we need only one more item.
I might have overreacted a bit. Martin was still trying to get the amulet, and the place where it was being kept was through the hell portal he was about to open. But it would take some time to open a portal. And before then, the old monk wanted me to go to the other cities and get some reinforcements for the battle ahead. Of course, the fetch quests weren't over, but whatever, we were so close I could smell the brimstone. However, these leaders weren't too keen on sending forces to help fight demons from hell.
I cannot risk weakening Cheydinhol's defenses.
I cannot risk weakening Anvil's defenses.
I need all my soldiers here.
I cannot spare any soldiers.
No, I don't have any men to spare. Bruma will have to look to its own defense. I'm done talking to you. Nothing I'd like.
Yeah!
Good morning.
Also, the Count of Skingrad was missing for some reason.
The kind of gate the mythic Dawn wants to open here to destroy Bruma. I said you weren't going to like it.
Yes. Oh, wow. Someone left a scroll on the ground here. An Elder Scroll, huh? No wonder someone left it here. No one can read it.
What is it, Cafutet? An inferior being has entered the realm. A single mortal? Why do you come to me like a whipped dog? Because, sir, he's an albino bullfrog. An albino what? An albino bullfrog? You mean one of those warty mudsuckers that I could squash under my boot like I'm about to do with your head? No, sir. It's not a literal bullfrog. I think it's just a nickname for what the mortal really is. And what is that? A rare offshoot breed of Argonian. Oh, shit.
For those of you unaware of the world's lore, allow me to give you a brief history lesson of the Argonians and these gates to hell. This hellscape is known as the Plane of Oblivion, and these demons are Daedra, who periodically love to invade the mortal realm for reasons. The reptile race of Argonians that I'm apparently an offshoot of, I guess that explains why I have a tail, have their homeland in a desolate place known as Black Marsh. And yeah, this place sucks. It's filled with poisonous plants and violent wildlife that rejects most civilized life. And what do you expect? It's a swamp. Ogres live there.
What are you doing in my swamp?
But not for the Argonians. These lizard people thrive here and can defend it from just about anything. To give you an idea, Cyrodiil, the land of the Imperials which I have been running around in, is known to have one of the greatest armies in the entire realm. They're regarded as unstoppable and have invaded many other provinces to bring them under Imperial rule. But when they tried to invade Black Marsh, the wildlife and the Argonians were like, "You know where you are! You're in the jungle, baby! You're gonna die!" This brings me to my main point. Remember when I was first stuck in Oblivion? Yeah, well, while I was there, these demons decided to open some gates in Black Marsh. And the Argonians were like,
What are you doing in my swamp?
not only did they push the demons back into Oblivion, but these crazy lizards counter-invaded Oblivion and raised literal hell until the Daedra were forced to close the gates. And ever since then, the demons have been scared to open the gates again. And that's why I've been having to help Martin force open another gate. So yeah, those lizards are the ones responsible for sending me on that fetch quest nightmare. But the nightmare's over, because now I'm finally back in hell, and nothing's gonna stop me from finding my brothers. There's no bottle here? Where did it go? There's supposed to be a bottle here. And all I get is a stupid orb? God, stupid orb. Yeah. I guess this is happening again. What the? Where am I now? This looks like the complete opposite of Oblivion. Is this heaven? Did I finally move on?
So, the cat's paw of the Septims arrives at
Nope. Just another hell.
You didn't think you could take me.
I wonder how Martin and the others do. I'm sure they're fine. I came upon some garden shrine where more of those cultists greeted me.
Come. My father is waiting to welcome you to Karak Agayalor.
And then they led me inside. And... oh, here you are. Finally. I can't believe I had to fight my way through hell and heaven just to find you. What?
For you, champion of old.
Ah, so you're the one who stole all my
You
brothers.
were the last gasp of a dying age. You breathed the stale air of false hope.
Dude, just shut up.
How little you understand. You cannot stop. I will present your Your day victory is at hand.
No, not now. No, please, I just found him. No!
Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian.
What?
It worked. You're alive. You don't know how long I've been looking for you.
Ah, crap. I sent it.
Yep.
I was getting close there. Just jumped the wrong
Cannot.
time. Bye, Kels.
Man.
Oh, I see how you did it there, Rick.